And you know what? Just by the Israelites witnessing how you worship your gods, all of these Israelites will start to fall prey to spiritual idolatry, and they will fall out of favor with God, and you will be able to defeat them. So that's exactly what happened. They started sending their women into the Israelite camps, just a few so they would be unnoticed. And those women started bringing the men to their parties and so on and so forth until more and more people became involved in this idolatrous worshiping. And Israel fell prey to Satan's devices. And an apostasy was so large that when Moses finally became aware of what was going on, the decree went out, you know what? We have to take out and kill every single person that was involved in this apostasy. Can you imagine? These are their brothers and sisters and cousins and people, and they had to go out and annihilate their own people because of this act of apostasy. So, the reason that I like talking about the Israelites coming out of the land of Egypt is because there are so many parallels to Israel coming out of Egypt as what we are in right now. We are exactly standing on the edge of Canaan, are we not? Are we not looking into the promised land? And is the devil not doing everything possible to send things into our camps? Well, here's my little land of Canaan picture. So a warning of worship was decreed. In Deuteronomy 12:30 and 31, it says, After they had been destroyed before you, be careful not to be ensnared by inquiring about their gods, saying, how do these nations serve their gods? We will do the same. You must not worship the Lord your God in their way, because in worshiping their gods, they do all kinds of detestable things that the Lord hates. They even burn their sons and daughters in the fires as sacrifices to their gods. So a warning was going out saying, don't even look at how these people worship. Don't even look at it, because you will all of a sudden take this on as your own. In fact, the most notorious and probably memorable system of false worship, when you read the biblical stories, is Nebuchadnezzar and his golden idol, and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Now, I know this is kind of an artist rendition of what this idol looked like, but the reason I believe that they picture him like that with his arms crossed and him out like this is because of his arrogance. You see, you remember Nebuchadnezzar got the idea for this idol from his dream. In his dream, God was showing him the different kingdoms in the earth, saying that Babylon will not stand forever. Well, when Nebuchadnezzar finally said, no, Babylon is going to stand forever, in his arrogance decides to make the entire statue out of gold. And of course, this is some artist rendition of the arrogance, but I think it portrays what is kind of going on here in this story. Now, there is a lot of systems of false worship that are set up today. But one of the systems of false worship set up today that we want to talk about is one that has striking similarities to this story. In fact, does anybody know what this is? Interesting. There's a golden idol, kind of almost set up in the same pose, but maybe even a little bit different. Now, the Oscars is one of the most coveted, tippy-top things in the acting world. This is what every single actor dreams about doing. When I was trying to be an actor and trained to be an actor, I dreamed about getting up there on stage and being like, I'm the greatest actor on the planet. I want to show you something about this that's pretty ironic, based on the story of Babylon and Nebuchadnezzar and his golden idol. Here is a definition of worship, just taken from your regular English dictionary. To treat someone or something with reverence or adoration which is appropriate to a deity. A deity, of course, is a god. And like number 2, honor given to someone in recognition of their merit. Now, in the Oscars, aren't we giving them something in recognition to their merit? And here in a worldly definition, isn't worship only set up for a deity. Even they're admitting that worship is only appropriate to a god. Okay? The Oscars event is typically the second most watched show each year. 40 million people watched it in 2007. I think that number is growing, of course, because the population is growing. But does anyone know what the number one most watched television show is on the face of the planet? Super Bowl. Do you know how many people watch the Super Bowl? Billions. Billions. Almost 100 million. Do you know what just beat the Super Bowl? You're correct. Michael Jackson. As the number one most watched thing on the face of the planet, Michael Jackson. And that ought to tell you what people are paying attention to in the world. It's absolutely staggering, the numbers of people that paid attention to Michael Jackson's death. Oh, this is a clip here. Can we turn this light off? Or maybe even the front ones? So you can see this? Is that possible? The Oscars, of course, is honoring film. They have all sorts of different things where they do these same sort of awards. The Emmys, of course, is honoring television, and the Grammys, of course, is honoring music. Okay, in this clip that we're going to show you right here, this is Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart. They are going to tell you exactly what this little golden idol is to them, and listen to what they say. It's pretty fascinating.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next two presenters have done for fake news what the Fox News Channel has done for fake news. Please welcome Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here tonight.
Good evening, godless sodomites.
What are you doing?
I'm bringing the truth, John. We're in Hollywood, the belly of the beast.
You can't just read the prompter?
I'm reading the prompter in here. You can read that pablum.
Award show banter is not pablum. Reality television celebrates the human condition. By illuminating what's extraordinary in the ordinary person.
It warps the minds of our children and weakens the resolve of our allies.
The results are often dramatic and always unexpected. We're here to honor achievement in that category.
By giving you a golden idol to worship. Kneel before your God, Babylon!
Kneel before your God, Babylon. There's truth in every single joke. It wouldn't be funny if there wasn't a bit of truth in it. That's just the way and the natural way that a joke works. And here, obviously, they're making fun of reality television. Actors hate reality television. It's taken a huge chunk of the pie, and they feel like they've worked their entire life to get there, and here these random people get their 15 minutes of fame, and now they're having to start to honor them. So obviously they're making fun of them. But they know that people worship these kind of things. They know that they're being worshipped. In fact, does anybody want to take a random guess what the name Oscar stands for? What it means? If you go onto any of these baby websites or anything like this, you can type in what's the origin, where does the name come from and everything, right? This one's mybaby.net. It's Scandinavian and Old English in its origin, and the meaning of Oscar is divine strength, divine spear. Divine, of course, is of, from, or like God, or like a god, and a spear is a weapon or a long shaft or a pointed tip. I find it completely ironic that this thing that they're passing around is honoring godlike weapons that are being used against us. And I find it fascinating that they just title it these things and it kind of just goes over the tops of most people's heads.